What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello everyone and welcome into the show. Welcome on in each and every one of you, hopefully app developers. Maybe you're a good troubleshooter. I don't care what you do. I just hope that you are a bug fixer. That's what we need this week. We need the bug fixers because we got the bugs and the bugs are bad. Oh boy, are the bugs bad right now. This is Hunt the Week. It's a weekly Magic the Gathering show about the Arena Gauntlet League that we love and play in. This is Lost Caverns of Ixalan Week 4. And I am your host with the most, your Don John DeMarco, your Goku-er, go home. I am a 3-time top 8er, a 2-time league winner, and 1 time I couldn't play Magic for days because of a bug. That's true. There's a bug out right now, which as I record, it was fixed about 45 minutes ago. This was fixed. But no, there's a weird bug going around, apparently linked to having a Brawl deck with a specialized commander, which I won a Miranda's Mega Draft with a specialized commander. Boy, I was proud of that deck. I was keeping that thing around, and guess what? Cons update rolls around, and I can't play Magic. Frustrating. I've been waiting for cons for a long time, and it's fixed now. But I got to record my podcast. I got things to do. I had free time the last 2 days when it was broken, and I couldn't play. But I'm at least happy that it's fixed before the rollover tomorrow, because boy, that would have been frustrating. And the Open this weekend, oh, for people that had played, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. But that bug is fixed. The other bug is still around, though it is happening less and less. We're going to get to it. We're going to talk about it. So let's start the digging.
Digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt. Digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt. Removing the earth. It's hard work, hard work, hard work. Digging in the dirt.
All right, as I record, it is 4:45 on Thursday. And this is your top 8. Jordan M. J. Mtrom, 16-4. Caleb G. Why Not, 16-4. Duncan M. Rob Roy Duncan, 15-5. Johnny M. Johnny, 14-6. Dan A. The Beatdown Bringer, 14-6. Philip B. Plipster, 13-7. Chris Y. York on Games, 13-7. Kevin I. Kani, 1993, 13-7. And I can tell you, because we have a wonderful, wonderful league committee that listens, and oh gosh, do I really appreciate everything they do. I can tell you that Duncan M. Rob Roy Duncan went 5-0 this week, and so did Ron C. Lenore, also went 5-0 this week. Lenore came into the week, 6-9? Oh, that doesn't feel great, but a 5-0 to be 11-9, all of a sudden you're playing some Magic. You're doing it right. That's right. It's, Johnny messaged me a couple days ago and was like, hey man, check out the standings. We got the numbers back, and thank God. I love it. I hope I'm not the jerk just being like, I wish I had my numbers and I want my numbers back, and that was a pain to do. So I hope that wasn't true. I hope it was just a simple fix, and I love looking at it. Again, I can tell who's doing well, right? I don't have to look at, I mean, I assume anyone in the top 8 is doing well, right? But I love seeing who had the great week, who had the 5-0. I love watching Chris York go 4-1 and win both his feature matches this week. I mean, yeah, Chris York's a staple, but he usually doesn't do very well. No offense, Chris. I think you know your record. But here you are in the top 8 with a nice OMW too. You're having a great league, and you're joined with a bunch of heavy hitters and a new name that, boy, oh, this new name, I'm excited to talk to you about it. And, yeah, before we get there, though, we got to talk about how did I do? How am I doing? I am the everyman, right? That's the point of this segment. I am the everyman. I commiserate with you. If I have a good week, we've all had good weeks. I have a bad week, we all have bad weeks, right? This is where we get out the emotion of, hey, how did I do and how do I feel about it? I went 3-2, which is fine. I had to go 3-2 to stay alive. 2-3 the first week, 2-3 the second week, 3-2 the next week, and then 3-2 in week 4, which means I am at 10-10. And oh boy, am I barely alive in this thing. But if I can get maybe 1 or 2 wins on my way out, I think I get my money back. So I'm really hoping to get just one more win. One more win. Oh boy, I'm going to be feeling real good. I mean, I might be okay with that one more win. I got a really good OMW. In fact, I have the highest OMW. No, Philip P. Plipster. And I'm bringing your OMW down, Philip, because we played this week. I also, I've been doing a really fun thing in the league that I want to bring up real quick, which is that whenever me or Cody race are on our death matches, we play a game, and the loser sends the other one like a little care package. I got a nice little care package in the mail from Cody about a week ago, full of little keychains and stickers and a fun little message. I really love it. I think it's a really cool thing that we do. And I actually played Cody on my death match and beat him last week, so I got another one coming. Thanks for that, Cody. But I encourage people in the league to, I don't know, just start sending each other packages. It's cool, man. I get fun stuff from a cool person, and it's, part of the cool part of the community. I get randomly now, every couple months, either I'm sending him a package or he's sending me one with fun little things. I really like it. I love how this community just brings people together, and I love that example that me and Cody have. And it started small, couple stickers, couple things, and it's grown right now. Now we're sending more and more stuff. It's just really fun, and I love getting them. And I hope I get to send you one soon, Cody. You gotta stop letting me win, man. It's not cool. But we gotta talk to a top eighter this week, and I wanted to talk to someone new to the league who's doing well. I had on Duncan M. Rob Roy Duncan, who went 5-0, sitting at 15-5, and boy, do they have a long Magic history that I just love learning about. So let's go ahead and start the discovery.
But how can we stand in the light of discovery and not act?
Yeah, I discover with Rob Roy Duncan, Rob Roy, a.k.a. Duncan M. Super nice guy, super cool guy, easy to talk to, and the accolades. It's another heavy hitter, and who's surprised with the way he's playing in his first league, currently in third place. Playing for his first mega draft, shoe-in for rookie of the league. I don't even know who's close. I don't think anybody's close, right? I gotta scroll down until I find a name I don't recognize. But I also don't remember things well, so maybe there were other people in there. But it's a great conversation I had with Duncan. I've been seeing him around, been looking at it. I was like, you see the name of the top 8? It's like, who's this guy? Who's this new player? How are they doing so well? They're doing so well because they are extremely tenured. They're another one of those, I used to play in the Pro Tour 20 years ago kind of guys. And I talked to him all about it. Go ahead and listen to my interview with Duncan now. All right, everyone, join me this week as we start the discovery with none other than league newcomer Duncan. Welcome to the show, Duncan.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm so excited to have you on for so many reasons. One, I love getting on new players. Two, I love getting on people who are doing well. And three, I love getting on people who are becoming part of the community. And you seem to be doing all those things. Duncan, you're crushing it.
I'm having a really good time so far.
Well, let's talk about it. I want to know, and I think the whole league wants to know, when did you start playing Magic?
I started at the tail end of the dark way back in 1994.
Oh my gosh.
So that was very kitchen table Magic. I'm playing without sleeves on the pavement floor outside our high school, that kind of thing. In 95, I headed off to university at the University of Waterloo, and I kind of kept playing casually there. And then in 96, a new crop of students came in, including some people who were more focused on competitive Magic. One of those being Jeremy E. Lurgoif, who has been part of this community for a few years, as I understand. And I kind of followed their lead and got more involved in competitive Magic. And so that just kind of kept going, and it kept, it became my primary hobby. In 98, I qualified for my first Canadian Nationals. And then and around the same time, I was also really interested in the rules behind the game and becoming a rules guru. I was the guy that everyone at the local store would go to when they had a problem, instead of, bothering the people behind the counter who were really busy and also usually didn't know as well.
Yeah.
And so in 99, I formalized that and became a Magic judge as well.
Oh my gosh.
And ever since then, I've been both playing, limited preferentially. I really like limited, and judging a lot.
So did you ever take a break, or was it straight through basically from that point on? You've been playing, because a lot of people take that break. They leave the game, they come back
I
years later.
I did do that. In about 2010, I got together with my current partner Sarah, and we've been together since. And as a result of that, we got together because of board gaming. We both really like board gaming, and that's actually
Yep.
taken over as my primary real life hobby these days.
Cool.
Most of my Magic playing these days is done on Arena. And so, I really liked board games the whole time as well. And so we do that together. And so as a result of that, from about, I think about 2013 to about 2015, I didn't really do that much Magic. I missed. You may have to edit this so I can remember it. I know that I came back in Born of the Gods.
Yeah, let's see. You missed
I
like the Innistrad block.
I
Um,
think I was there for Innistrad. I can't remember if Innistrad was before or after the Mirrodin stuff with the new Phyrexia and
it
all.
was after Innistrad was after that, yeah.
Okay, then yeah, because I'm pretty sure that I pre-released Scars of Mirrodin, and then my next pre-release after that was Born of the Gods, and that's a good example of when I'm missing, because if I'm not going to pre-releases, I'm really not playing Magic. That's the thing that I always try to do.
Yeah, pre-release. Who doesn't love a pre-release? Pre-releases are so fun.
Yeah.
It's everyone comes out, everyone's excited about the set, everyone's excited about the fancy, expensive cards they can open, and the rule. No one's caring about the rules. It's very laid back and casual. No one's calling for that judge very often on pre-release. If they are, it's nobody's getting punished too hard.
Yeah, it's really friendly. If you're calling for a judge, it's because, hey, this we want to make sure we're getting this thing right, and not because, judge, can you please do something to my opponent?
Oh,
But yeah, the fact that I've been a judge as well as a player kept me in the game at times. Like there were times when I wasn't enjoying playing that much, but I would still go out and judge every couple of months, and so that's something that kept my foot in the game. And so that one period in the like early 2010s is the only period where I really didn't do any Magic at all for quite a while.
I got it. Can I ask you some judge questions? Because I'm curious
Sure.
how that works. So like I go to events sometimes, right? Like I go to like the SCG cons. I live in the south of the US, so I get some SCG cons and stuff around here. Like, and I notice it's like the same judges at all the events, I think. Like how does that, like, how do you get paid as a judge? Do you get paid? Do you how far do you travel to be a judge? How does that work?
Well, everybody kind of decides it for themselves. I mean, the ideal is that it's kind of a free market thing, and
Uh-huh.
people can choose. I mean, you have your lower level judges who primarily do store judging,
Mhm.
but then once you get above that, once you have the people who have the experience and the desire to judge at the bigger events, a lot of it is those are the people who are going to keep coming out. Those are the people that you are going to see a lot because for one thing, they're like the available pool of those judges isn't that big for any given area,
Mhm.
and also because once the organizers find people that they like, they'll tend to bring them back if they get a chance.
Sure.
So like, I judged locally for face-to-face games is the big one who runs the big events up here in Canada.
Yeah.
And like the judge manager there knows me, and if I put in and say I'm interested in judging this, then he's very likely to take me. Not always. There are going to be times when they'll have enough people applying and he'll leave me because he knows that I'll be there the next time as well. And they definitely make an effort to train up new people. But once they find people that they like, they are going to get those people back. And
Interesting.
to answer the other question that you asked there, we do get paid.
Nice. Good. Good. I'm always
Yeah.
curious about that.
Well, it didn't used to be that way. When I started judging, I would show up and judge, and then usually at the end of the day, they would hand me like, half a box of boosters or something like that and be like, here you go, this is what you get.
Yeah.
And that led to some weird incentives where, people would show up at times and not feel like they'd gotten paid enough. But then, and I think it was around the mid 2000s, there was a bit of a push to get judges re-evaluated as contractors,
Uh-huh.
so that it was a thing where getting paid above board instead of just having it be, well, here's some product and then you can sell the product off, or here's some foils and you can sell those foils off if you want to.
Yeah.
So until then it was a lot looser, but once judges got properly reevaluated as contract employees, then things settled down a lot more.
Interesting. Very cool. Very, very cool insight that I don't get the opportunity to learn about. Do you still get the judge promos? Do you still get those?
It's so I'm gonna need to go down a rabbit hole to answer
boy.
that question. A couple of years back, Wizards of the Coast decided that they weren't going to handle judge certification in-house anymore. And
Okay.
so they outsourced it to a group called Judge Academy. And Judge Academy was a for-profit group that was being supported by membership dues from people as well as foils from Wizards of the Coast. And they were running tests and certifying people and providing forums and a place for organizers to meet up with judges. But that happened at the end of 2019. And at the start of 2020, and you know what happened. We had suddenly stopped having in-person events. And between that and the fact that Judge Foundry was a for-profit group, a lot of people didn't like it. I never actually signed up with Judge Foundry myself.
Interesting.
But I kept judging because, I wasn't certified with them, but the local organizers knew me and trusted me.
Yeah, yeah.
And now, as of a couple months ago,
That's okay.
Judge Academy said that Wizards of the Coast wasn't re-upping their contract and they were going to be shutting down. And now there's new groups popping up in more specific geographic locations to handle judge certification. And
Interesting.
yeah, so like in North America, in the US and Canada, that's going to be a group called Judge Foundry. They're being set up as a non-profit group instead of for-profit.
Okay.
So, that's good. But then that also means that they need to be largely supported by membership fees. I believe that's a requirement.
Wow.
And so that's something where I'm going to be signing up for them. They've just gone live, but they haven't really had a chance to do very much yet.
Gotcha.
So
cool.
Yeah, weird time to be a
judge. Is super
judge.
interesting. All right. Well, I love the judge talk, but we got so much to talk about. How did you find? I want to know, how did you find the Discord server? And if you play, you're Canadian. I know a lot of the servers in Canada, face-to-face games. Do you know, besides Jeremy, do you recognize or know anybody just on the server just from playing it face-to-face?
I found out about this through a Reddit post that somebody made.
Nice.
It was just, I spotted it and I was like, I like sealed and this 60 card thing seems neat. And $10 really isn't that much to buy in for some fun. So I went ahead with that. As far as recognizing people though, I really don't.
That's fine.
I haven't, nobody has come up to me to say, hey, I think I know you from local events, and I really haven't noticed anybody that looked familiar to me.
Oh, well, maybe they will after they learn who you are. Maybe you just, like you see the name, no one really knows who Duncan is.
We
But
heard that, Duncan. I
Yeah,
mean, it's not that common a name, but I'm also not the only one. I used to run into another Duncan at Friday Night Magics all the time, and we'd keep comparing records, see if we can keep the Duncan bracket going.
Oh boy, Duncan versus Duncan action sounds tough. Well, I'd like to know, since you're here, how are you liking the Lost Caverns of Ixalan League? What path have you chosen to go down? And you're doing great. What's helping you do so well in your first league here?
I mean, a lot of it is that I just know a lot about the cards, just I've been playing on Arena since day one. I've been playing in real life for quite a long time, so I know the limited for all of the cards that are coming out. So I already kind of have a framework to build things around.
Uh-huh.
And that's something that limited is also something that I tend to play a lot. Like limited and historic brawl are basically all that I play on Arena, and I
Nice.
do both of those a lot. So being able to say, I know that this card was good. Let's see how it works out in this format has helped me out a lot.
Hmm.
I don't know if you noticed or if other people have noticed when I loaned my account out, but you probably didn't need to use too many wildcards on stuff because I have been trying to build up, play sets on Arena, just waiting to open packs until I'm done drafting to maximize the duplicate protection, that kind of thing. So I have a lot of the cards there. I play a lot on there.
I borrowed your account for a minute earlier today, and yeah, it was like 700 commons, 800 uncommons, and you just had 90 packs unopened of Ixalan just sitting there. And I was like, oh yeah, this guy's stocked up. He's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have plenty of wild cards for people to use if they need to. So that's been, so I think that helped out. As for my path, I went down the archaeologist's path for this one. And I mean, again, it's my first event. I don't know if this is a thing that the Gauntlet usually does, giving people choices right off the bat.
Usually, this is pretty new. So it's usually there's not like a ton of choice, like pick a path and go down it. Like the last league we had was Wilds of Eldraine. That was basically whenever you lose, you pick a pack from any set in standard, and that was the whole gimmick there. So it was just a kind of a chaos set. Pick any pack you want. Sometimes we do more chaosy things where we go to a different plane every week and different things happen. Sometimes we stay in set. Like All Will Be Out One was a lot of one, and the mechanic there was on your 10th loss, you became a Phyrexian and you lost your pool and got a whole new pool of 15 packs of one or whatever it was.
Try and hold off the elimination as long
Yep,
as possible with
it
your
was
new
like
pool.
yeah, because if you had a good
Nice.
pool, you wanted to try and keep it as long as you could. Or if you had a bad pool and you were doing bad, maybe this whole new pool will turn it all around for you. Super fun. But the mechanics
Cool.
range from very vanilla, just pick whatever the new set is, to really crazy. You have no control and everything is random. It changes all the time. That's part of the fun.
Yeah, it sounds really neat. And I have been enjoying both the control and the random elements in this one so far. As far as why I went down this path, I'll be honest, I really wasn't sure which path I was going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I opened my initial 6 packs, or when I was building my initial pool, and it looked like it was green, white, red dinos, I just said, you know what? If things go badly, I'd rather get a dinosaur than a merfolk or vampire
Yeah.
or pirate early on. So let's go archeologist.
Have
And
you gotten
that's
that
how I made that
dinosaur
decision.
yet? Have we gotten to the dino yet, or are we still waiting? I know you're doing
Uh,
well.
yeah, I'm one away from that, I believe.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, haven't quite gotten there. But at the moment also though, my pool has now shifted, as a result of the new packs. I'm no
Mm-hmm.
longer going those colors. I'm white red with a splash of blue right now. So I'm no longer
Nice.
sure if the dinosaur is going to do it, because a lot of those guys are green.
Yep, yep. We'll see. I mean, that's the thing with that. There's also just a lot of those cards aren't very good. A lot of
Yeah.
those cards don't make the cut anyway. But
Yeah, I know.
maybe
I spotted somebody got the Huatli Planeswalker one, so it's like a 5 mana 4/4 that fetches you the Huatli Planeswalker that, of course, you're never going to
no,
have.
no, we can't
And
have
it's
it.
like,
Can't open it.
well, yeah,
Yeah, it's part of the fun, right? Like you can open a nice card, it could shift everything around. You could be planning for that dino the whole time you get it. It's not exciting, or not even in your colors. The dinosaurs range across all colors, basically, right? Like
yeah.
you
Maybe I'll
could
get a
get
Rotting Regisaur.
yeah. I saw someone open that the other day. I was like, that's a great card, but I wouldn't have expected that on the dino path.
Yeah.
Well, Duncan, I would love to know, since you are so tenured in Magic and you've been around so long, what's your favorite Magic card?
you asked this one,
It's tough.
and it is tough. So I can tell you that my favorite Magic card recently is the my commander for Historic Brawl on
Ooh,
Magic Arena, which I'm
yeah.
playing Yorn, God of Winter.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if you remember that one.
I
So
think I might. Is he the 3/3 green
he
3/3?
Yep, green and two for a 3/3, and when he attacks, you untap all your snow permanents, which is
Yep.
usually him and land. And he has a backside, which is the Called Staff, which is blue and black, and I have literally never played that. I always just play him as Yorn because it isn't really a snow deck. It's just he's there to enable me to play those three colors, and I just play him on like turn 3 of most of my games and try and brawl. And he just enables so much fun stuff when it works because I get to do things like play him and then the next turn, play something that fetches up some land and then attack and untap these land and then play more control elements or kill spells or draw spells or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's basically a control deck in that I want to stop my opponent from doing stuff, but I want to switch from stopping my opponent from doing stuff to doing stuff myself very quickly. I'm happiest when we can start throwing haymakers at each other on like turn 5 and see who comes out on top.
That sounds super fun. And I love playing Sultai. It's a Sultai deck, right? I love playing some
Yeah.
Sultai.
Yeah, that's actually also the reason for the next league. They put up a survey recently about which clan would you like to be in for Khans of Tarkir, and I expressed a slight preference for Sultai just because of my allegiance to
Yeah.
Yorn and those colors in Historic Brawl, but I really don't care too much.
I did the same thing. I was like, Sultai is my color pair. That's what I want to be in. But I also, if I get put in Mardu, I'm not gonna complain. It's all just colors that we assign meaning to. They don't actually mean anything. It's all
Yeah,
just for fun.
yeah.
But I
I'm
am
not going
salty.
to complain too much about any of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I just want to be on the winning team. That's which one's the winning one? Put me on that one. That's all I
Yeah.
care about. Well, that's exciting. I hope you stick around. You come back for the cons league because that's going to be these are leagues that we do maybe once every year, every 2 years, where the whole server splits into 5 different factions and everyone conspires against the other ones. They're super fun. There's lots of help from your teammates and I just can't wait. They're so fun.
Looking forward to it. But hopefully, not until after a mega draft if I can manage to make it there.
I mean, you're on pace. That's all I can say. Is there what have you? I know we talked a little bit before I started recording. What's your record for the current week and record
Uh,
overall?
so I was 10-5 going into the week, and then I somehow have managed to go 3-0 so far this week. So I'm up to 13-5, currently sitting, I think, in second place as of this
Oh
recording.
my gosh,
And yeah,
Duncan, you kidding me? Your
I'm
first league?
yeah, this is not what I expected. I mean, they gave me the option to sign up through either of the two stores, and I signed up for the one that paid out for the top 50% because I was like, I can probably make top
Yeah,
50%.
that's
I'm
my
a- I'm
goal.
I'm not going to aim for top 8, and I'm doing pretty well so far. And it might turn around soon. I might end the week 3-2 or something, but it does mean that I've already guaranteed myself a winning record in each of the first 4 weeks. So
Yeah,
I'm very happy with that.
yeah. If nothing else, you get your money back and you get to spin the wheel again for cons or another
Yeah.
league for free. But yeah, second place right now, 13-5, still 2 more games. Only behind Caleb G, who's 16-4, who's also having a great league. And since you're new, you don't know who any of the people are up here with you, but man, there's a lot of like Jordan's like a top 20 Magic Arena drafter.
Nice.
Johnny used to play in Pro Tours. There's a bunch of really strong players up here. So like, yeah, you're fitting right in there, Duncan. Congrats on how well you're doing so far. Like,
Well, thank you.
not easy to do. Well,
Yeah.
since this is your first league, I used to ask this question a lot, and I stopped asking it because everybody's so nice, and no one wants to change it. And no one ever wants to change anything. So I'm bringing it back for you, Duncan, because one, you're a new player, so you have a new perspective, and two, you have such a history with tournaments and Magic that you may have a unique perspective that we don't usually get from like the player level. And that is, what is one thing that you would change about this league?
I don't have anything that I'm coming up with right now. Partly that is being new. Like, I'm willing to assume that anything that I'm spotting is there for a reason. So if there is something that I can see that I might want to change, I'd want to give it a chance first. I'd want to wait and see why this is that way and give it a shot. But everything that I've thought of so far is something that I think is a trade-off. Like, it's, from a competitive nature, the ability of people to say no to matches is a little bit problematic, because you can get cases where people just wouldn't play against somebody else. They're like, "Oh no, your pool is too good. I'm going to avoid you." But
Yes.
but people in this league don't seem to be doing that. Everyone just seems to be like, yeah, sure, I'll give that a shot. And so I don't think that I would want to change it in order to require, once an anonymous matchup is made, if you can legally play, you have to play, things like that.
Yeah.
And so anything that I can see, I think anything that I could think of would be a trade-off. It wouldn't be a strict, this would be better this way. And there isn't anything that I've seen so far that I think is a big problem. But I'm just going to keep my eyes open, and if I spot something later on, if I think of something, I know how to talk to people. There's the league committee channel on Discord, and if I
Yeah.
think of anything, then I'll just toss it in there, or ping somebody privately and say, "Hey, why is this like this?" Or, "Hey, do you think you could try this?"
See that's exactly. I mean, that's how we've gotten this far. Is because we have the league committee channel, right? And because anybody can voice a concern or just an idea or a change, and
Yeah.
a lot of things have changed over the years as things have gone on. Like I saw you recently talking about, I think it was entropy packs and things, and like those are pretty new. We didn't used to give out packs for entropy, but then if someone missed a couple games, they would get pretty salty and kind of just leave the server, and we lost a lot of people to that. So not a lot, we lost some people to that. So it's feedback that you get over time, and things change. And I actually have a hard and fast rule that I won't play somebody if they beat me more than twice in one league. So like Caleb, I've played him twice. He's beaten me twice. I don't want to feel like I'm just feeding him wins. So I won't play him anymore this league. That's my personal rule.
Yeah, seems fair. I actually decided fairly early on I didn't want to play people in consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
So that if I got matched up against somebody, in week 2 that I played in week 1, I was going to say no. If I got matched up in somebody this week that I played in week 3, I want to say no. And so far, that's only happened once. It was Jordan JM Tron challenged me in week 2, and I said, how about let's take a rain check for week 3, but haven't actually gotten back to him. So
no, that's
maybe this week.
That's a great stance to have. I remember once I played Sawyer 3 weeks in a row, and on the third time I was like, let's just not do it this time, man. Like I think we were 1-1, and like our games were good, but we were both doing well. And I was like, man, these games are just real tough, and we've been playing every week. Can we just take a break?
Yeah.
And
let's
also
give this one a pass.
Jordan, the boy, is that one you really want to be happy that you missed, because that guy is he's a baller, that guy.
Well, he did beat me in the week 1 matchup.
Oh, so you're ready for revenge, Duncan, and I think with the way your record is, you can do it. We got 2 questions here from your old friend Jeremy that I'm super excited to ask you about. Like you said, you go back with Jeremy. You've known how long ago did you know Jeremy in person, in real life?
Yeah, so that was 1996 that we met. When I was at university starting in 95, and he came in the year after. And so we've been friends since shortly after that. We were both hanging out in what was called the Comfy Lounge at the math faculty at the University of Waterloo. There were a lot of games being played there, bridge most commonly, but a lot of other card games, a lot of other games of different kinds, Vampire the Eternal Struggle, and
Ooh.
we'd get together to play, the old Dune game and things like that. A lot of different games going on there.
Jeremy's first question, memory tester. What was the name of our first team sealed PTQ team, I believe in 1999, and who did we play in the finals?
That I've been trying to remember that one. I think we were actually just called Team Comf as a result of
Nice.
the Comfy Lounge connection. It was myself and Jeremy Elgar and our friend Drew Gillen, who's out on the east coast of Canada now. I can definitely remember our opponents in the finals, though. It was Team 770, named for their combined weights. They definitely brawled us and took the Pro Tour invite, but it was a good times.
770. That's hilarious. And do you have a favorite Magic story? Do you have a favorite Magic tournament story of any format that you could share with the league?
So I do have a story that I want to tell. And this one actually is one that I wasn't playing in, but I was involved in otherwise.
All right.
It actually involves your current intro theme.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, so I understand that your theme changes from time to time.
It can, yeah.
And right now, what it is Randy Bueller calling the top deck of the century from Pro Tour Honolulu when Craig Jones slammed down the Lightning Helix to win the match against Olivier Ruel.
Yes. What's
And
on top of the deck? What's on top of the deck?
Yeah, and that this was a great moment because like Craig Jones was just thinking after he got attacked, and he finally decided, you know what, I can block in such a way that I'll be a 3 life, and then I'll use my 1 card in hand to char my opponent, putting him from 7 down to 3, me from 3 down to 1, and then if I can draw burn off the top, then I can win. And that was his plan. And Randy Bueller's calling it, what's on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix.
Yeah.
And I was there when that happened.
Oh my gosh.
I was 5 feet away from Craig Jones. If you watch the video of this on YouTube, when they switch to the wide shot, I'm visible there.
That's so cool.
Because they gotten me to help out with the webcast team. This was back before streaming was a thing, really. And so Wizards had brought in like a custom team to do their Sunday webcasts.
Uh-huh.
And this was a very niche thing. Like I remember at one point they hit 8,000 consecutive or 8,000 simultaneous viewers, and they were overjoyed both that they'd hit that number and that their software could survive that many simultaneous feeds.
Yeah.
And they had me helping out with the graphics team.
Oh, cool.
So I was the one who was standing on stage, dressed all in black, radioing updates back to them to say, the life totals have changed to this. So there was, like when Olivier fired off the char, I would have, or sorry, when Craig fired off the char, I would have radioed back to the team, life, Jones 1, Ruel 3, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then when he flipped up the Lightning Helix, I, just radioed back, game over, Jones wins, match over, Jones wins 3-2.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just, it was a great moment to be there for.
Yeah, that is it's iconic. It's an icon. I put it in my show because people know what it is without any explanation, right? Like they know that Magic, top 5 Magic moment of all time or something. Like that's so cool.
It's right up there, and I got to be right there for it.
Oh my gosh.
I actually got a little bit teased by my local players afterwards as a result, though, because the thing is, like, Craig Jones is just, like so overjoyed, and Ruel is like, laughing even as he's losing this. And then the other people on stage were all reacting to this, and I'm just standing there with the same expression on my face that has been there the entire match, calmly reporting match rolls back. And they're like, weren't you excited? And I was like, well, I really was, but I also had a job to do. I just went ahead and did my job.
Yeah. Duncan's there to do a job, and the first things first is he needs to get these numbers right. Somebody watch that video. See if you can spot Duncan. That's so cool. Before we go, because we are running out of time, since you're a big board game guy, I know there's a lot of board game people on the server. You got any recommendations for like good board games that you're into right now, or just some all-time favorites?
So, I'll say Dominion is an all-time favorite of mine.
I love Dominion.
Deck building.
I love Dominion.
Yeah. Now, that is one though that I don't do as much these days. We got through a period where a couple of the sets kind of fell flat with us, so we stopped buying them.
Yeah, sure.
But it is still great. The other ones, Terraforming Mars. If people haven't had a chance to try that one out yet, that's
Ooh.
on the heavier side,
Okay.
but it's very thematic. There's a lot of neat stuff going on in it. So if you're interested in a like 3-hour heavier game that has a fair bit of replay value, Terraforming Mars, and that one's about 7 years old now.
Cool.
I think something like that.
Yeah.
I have 2 more that I want to throw out quickly, both of which are a little newer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. First off, The Crew, Mission Deep Sea. So this is a cooperative.
Love the sound of it.
Yeah, it's a cooperative trick-taking game. It's played with a custom 40-card deck, and basically everybody has limited communication. You're not allowed to tell people, I'm going to do this, or I'd like it if you could do this. So everybody needs to make their own decisions. And then you're trying to do certain challenges. And it, again, has a lot of replay value because you're trying to do tasks flipped off the top of a deck. And it's really good. And finally, as a party game, So Clover. It's kind of a word association game. If you ever played something like Code Names, it's kind of like that, but again, cooperative, and it's a lot of fun.
Cool. Thank you so much for those recommendations. And if you play board games, maybe talk to Duncan over here and talk about board games. I know sometimes people they've done Jackbox nights in the server. I think they've done some tabletop simulator things too. So maybe we can get some kind of weird board game online thing going. I know people always love that kind of stuff. Duncan, thank you.
If anybody does want customized recommendations, feel free to hit me up.
Oh, get customized recommendations from a Magic Judge board game guy. Who doesn't want that? Please take advantage. Duncan, thank you so much for coming on the show, for making time for us, and for introducing yourself to the league, for lending out your deck, and for just being a member of the community. It's been really wonderful having you.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I found this, and thank you so much for doing this podcast.
Oh, hey, happy to do it. I get, like I always say, it gives me something to do. Otherwise, I'd be sitting around watching football for like 12 hours straight today. This gives me a nice productive break. I can feel like I did.
Favorite
something.
team?
I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan. Things are going poorly.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm
a fan of the Chiefs and the Bills, which has been good at different times, and the Bills are not doing so well this week.
Yeah,
this year.
Yeah, and they're playing each other this week, so it's going to be only one can win.
Yep.
Well, before this kicks us out, thank you so much for coming on the show, and good luck this week and the rest of the way. I hope you get the top 8, Duncan. I'd love to see you there.
Thanks. Good luck to you too.
Love talking to Duncan. Duncan was super cool, and he's got ties to Jeremy. You know, I love Jeremy, and I just love it when people come into the league and they do well. Like I hope Duncan makes the mega draft and just comes in, guns blazing, makes a name for himself. He's already made a name for himself, right? Like one to watch. I think we're all waiting to see how well he does at the end of this thing, but love talking to you, Duncan. Super easy to talk to. Really nice guy. Part of the Bug SOS. Lends out his account. I see him in the chat rooms, and again, just a super nice, easygoing guy who knows a lot about Magic. This guy used to be a judge. I love learning stuff about judges because it's part of Magic that I don't really know a lot about. I hope Steve Stumpers come back soon because I would have loved to see this guy get stumped by Steve. Or maybe he can take over, start giving me some more crazy questions. I don't know. Steve, I think you've got a judge. Bounce some questions off. Very cool. Very cool. While we are having on some new players, we are also saying goodbye to some old players. So let's go ahead and let's get lost. Yes, these players are no longer with us. They've been lost in the caverns. And we read their names and we remember them now. Chris R., Sinkwater. Nick W., Wheelo. Chris F. C. Fair John. James S. Zoid. Wesley C. Gigavoltaic. Jacob V. Dreisel. John R. Ged. Eric S. Smitty. Or, you can say Smite. I like to say Smitty, because I'm close with Eric. Mitchell S. Spaghetti Mitch. Colton S. Colton Cooper. Oh, Colton, wasn't your league, man. Love seeing you play, though. Josh M. Army Guy Mac. Wyatt C. Hot Dolphin. Wyatt. Oh, man, even Wyatt's way down here. This is a rough league, isn't it? Dustin D. Balloon. Jordan P. Chunky Lover. Dallas C. Bitter Blossom. Matt C. Yankee 99er. Jaden M. Mononic Device. Sylvan T. Equidos. Drake M. Komodo. Maxime V. Zach Store. Zeke W. Flavio L. Ronaldo L. Jum. And Megan G. Horror. I don't know. Those last two players didn't. I mean, I think the last 5-6 players, they are all 0-11. I assume they all just dropped or entropied out. And I hope you don't entropy out, and I hope you don't drop. Because we are getting near the end of this thing. It's week 5. If I go 5-0, and I won't, I shouldn't. My deck's alright. But, if I go 5-0, I'm making it to week 6, and then I can go 5-0 again for the 10-0 sweep to make top 8. Don't expect it to happen. I don't want it to happen. But we got Kanzi Tarkir coming up. It's on Arena. The bug is fixed, so you can play. Well, one bug is fixed. I think the other bug's still around. There's so many bugs, it's hard to keep track of what bug is active at what moment. I'm sure next update there will be another bug, and then a bug for that bug. So Shuffler is still broken, and that's why I hope you keep a good 7. Because even when the Shuffler is broken, you need a good 7 to survive, and I hope that deck is in your favor. Because the top of that deck's the most important thing, man. When it comes to those cards, I want those good ones on top, or I want them tucked deep enough away that I can discover into them in a fun way. And, I hit my bird spell off my discover. Can you believe I played to that? I played to it. Wasn't luck. I played to it, okay? Thank you, Johnny, for hearing my pleas to get the records back on the sheet, on the dynamic standings. And whoever implemented that, if it wasn't Johnny, thank you. I appreciate it. And if there's a reason it wasn't there, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I made you do it. But I love seeing it. And like I said, it helps me know who is doing well and who to kind of focus on to bring on the show or who to talk about. And I never look for the bad weeks and the negative numbers. Don't even care. I'm just here for the positivity, man. I want to have a good time. I want to have a good league, and I hope you are too. We're going to see everyone next week for week 5 of Lost Caverns of Ixalan and getting ready for cons. It's out there. Start drafting. Fill up your pool so that you don't got to waste too many wild cards and get used to the format. It's slow. I remember it being amazing. I hope it stands up. And we'll see everyone here next week. Bye, everybody.